case study of keyword research. Before I went over the top 3 parts of keyword research, we need to find keywords that are related to what your products or services are, that have a high search volume and a low competition. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how I actually do keyword research myself, and you can follow and do keyword research for your own market. But first I just want to show you the different types of keywords and why keywords with more searches aren't always the most valuable keywords to go for. So first there's short tail keywords, and these are good keywords to rank for. Obviously, like short tail is usually 1 to 2 keywords. When you're searching for a product, people don't search much more than two keywords when they're searching something. No one types in long sentences into Google, so these kind of shorter phrases get searched for a lot more, but they're a wee bit too broad and usually competitive as well, because everyone's going to be targeting these words. But there's a better option for that, because also with short tail, they're still in the research phase and they're just kind of searching something. They could be potential buyers, but it's really hard to work out what they're looking for. They're just putting in a very broad phrase. So then you get long tail keywords, which are usually 3 or more words, and a lot less competitive because you're specific to what you want to be found for. And the general rule is, if they're searching for 3 keywords, they're interested in 4 keywords, they're a potential buyer. And that rule is just, obviously it's not a guarantee, but it gives you an idea of how it works out. So the more information they know about a subject, they're kind of past the research phase and they're getting closer to becoming a buyer. So if you get people searching through Google through long tail keywords coming to your website that way, there's more chance of them converting when they come to your website, instead of just coming to your website to do a wee bit of research and figure out a wee bit more about a topic. So then you've got branded keywords, which is ranking highly for your unique business name or website, which is usually easy as long as your business name is unique. So if you've not got a unique name, obviously you're going to have competition, because then that's just long and short tail keywords. So you get branded keywords as well, and you can use a tool called Pro Media Corp. And if you just Google that, it's Pro Media Corp, and if you actually put in your brand name, so if your company, for my example, I've got my product which is a secret SEO system. If I put that into there, and it gives you sort of suggestions of what other people are actually searching on top of your brand name. So you can figure out what people are searching on top of that, so they can maybe add on the word pricing or looking for coupons or something like that. So that's another keyword. And then you get your local keywords, which is just adding your local area or country onto the end of a product or service. So for my examples, SEO services, and then I'm based in Fife in Scotland, so I could do SEO services Fife is one of my longer tail keywords, and a local keyword. And I can also do SEO services Scotland, and I want to be found for these kind of keywords when I'm doing search engine optimization services. Keywords are usually a lot easier to rank for as well when you add a location onto it, and again they're easier to convert these, because if they're putting in a location, if it's specifically your actual town or your city, they're already decided that they want someone local, and if they can find you from searching for a local phrase, then there's more chance of them actually using you as well. And then you've got converting keywords, and by converting keywords, what I mean is the same thing again. The keywords that they're probably going to buy from you after searching that. So pricing, buy, adding these kind of keywords after your services. So if someone was searching for SEO services again, and they maybe added in the word buy SEO services or SEO service prices, or for another example, it's still a converting keyword, but it's not something I would go for myself. But the word cheap, like cheap SEO services or cheap web design services, is another. It's got commercial intent, And what I mean by commercial intent is it's a kind of buyer's word, and they've already done their research and they're now looking to buy it. So things like cheap buy pricing, price coupons, and that's kind of them at the buying stage of searching for things, and they've already done their research or they already know a bit about your services and products. So that's what I mean by converting keywords. And the better sort of commercial intent, the more valuable the keywords are, because they're not going to just come to your website just to do some research. They're actually ready to buy. Obviously, you've got keywords you don't want to be found for unless you're doing things for free. But people add free onto the end of services and stuff, or products as well. Like SEO, free SEO, something like that. I wouldn't go for something like that myself, but I would go for free SEO audit or free SEO report just to get the traffic. So you can use all these kind of converting keywords as well, and they can be more valuable than just going for keywords with a high search volume that are way too broad. So now I'm going to show you how I do keyword research using the Google Keyword Planner. I have searched for venture capital, as you can see here, to find related keywords, and Google has now returned keywords back to me. And what I'd now do is I'll go right down this list and just view all the keywords that I find that are important for my services. And it gives you a list here, so you've got your keyword by relevance to what I search for, and it gives you the average monthly searches, the competition, whether it's high, low or medium, the suggested bid, so that's how expensive a cost per click is for this keyword, and then you've got this here which shows you the monthly searches over the last few months and how it goes up and down. So some services need more, some people need services more in summer, and some people need services more in winter. Like for a guttering company, and then autumn, the guttering gets really busy. So that's how you can actually see how many searches things get over a year, over the last couple of months. But what we want to do here is, if you know what your own business is and what your service and products you offer and who your target market is for promoting your products to them and where they are. So what you really want to do is put yourself into the customer's shoes and think about what they would search for your services to find you through Google. And once you've got a rough idea of that, then you can start to narrow down these keywords and ideas down more to get the more valuable ones for you. So for me, this is a website I'm going to be that I'm building for a venture capital firm, and this keyword is very related to that. Let me just scroll up to the top here. Venture capital itself, which is quite a broad keyword, as we talked about short tail and long tail keywords. It's got 60,500 searches per month, and it's medium competition. Venture capital firms. So what I'm going to do is go through all these and pick the ones that I find relevant, and I'm going to add them to my Excel keyword research sheet, and you should have a copy of that. If you don't have Excel and you can't use that, you can use Google Docs, Excel for spreadsheets. You can use Microsoft Word, WordPads. It's really just to take a note of these things. But this spreadsheet is quite organised. So you've got your keywords, the chosen keyword or phrase that you find is relevant to your business, and I just write down a big list, maybe 20, and then narrow them down again once I've got my list. Use this as a template and make a new one, and then once you've got your ideas, you can then narrow these down further, and I would say go for a maximum of about 12 keywords maximum for your website, and about 3 main really important keywords. Your brand's obviously going to be one of your keywords, so for this website it's venture capital network, and that's going to be a keyword regardless. that's the brand name, so that's what I need to be in there. The same for the secret SEO system. That's a keyword. Even if I made sure that people were searching for that before I bought the domain name and things like that. But that's what you want to think about when you're starting your own business or starting your website. Then you can actually pick your own domain name for that. But I'll just go over what all these are. The keyword is obviously the keyword that you want to go for, the keyword phrase or the keyword itself. Competition. How hard the competition is based on the quoted keywords, and I'll show you what I mean by quoted keywords from the search engines and later on in this video. Search volume, the number of searches the phrase gets on a monthly basis. As you can see on the Google Keyword Planner, it's an average monthly searches it gives you. So that's why I've put that down there. And the cost per click, how expensive the cost is for people advertising on Google, and the more expensive, the more valuable the keywords must be for a lead. So, like for example, if you think about between a web design lead, web designers can make from 500 up to 2,000 to 10,000. It can go right up. So web design leads can be really profitable. Sometimes they might just be a small website for $500, and you also get a lead's more important for like one lead would be more important for a finance company, a finance broker, for example. I've done search engine optimization services for, and one lead was actually worth 300 million. A lead worth 300 million, which they would have got a percentage off of that, and the lead was worth about a million to them in profit. So that comes to the question on how many searches is enough, and that obviously comes back to it depends on how much a lead's worth to your company or your service. So if you use this example, web design against a finance company, leads are obviously, for a finance broker anyway, can be a lot more important for than a web designer. So a web designer would need more inquiries and more views to their website to be able to generate leads and more sales compared to a finance broker. A finance broker might only need one lead a year. It really comes down to what kind of business you're in. And this one here is the page rank of the website. PR is just short for page rank. So what you could do is go on the first page of Google, search your keyword, and you get you can actually figure out an average page rank for them. And I'll go into that in more detail later. The commercial, I'm talking about commercial intent with this one, so I would just put in here yes or no. So for keywords that say price or buy, they would be a yes for the commercial intent. Keywords without that haven't got a commercial intent and a sort of a more converting keyword, you just put no in this field. And then the domain available, what I mean by that is, for my example, secretseosystem.com was available, so I would put that in, I would note that in there, and you can check that on 123reg, or I think it's GoDaddy, and you can search for you can actually buy the exact match domain, and that's a very important stage of SEO, buying the right keywords in your domain. Obviously you want to have your branding and your unique business name in your website, but if you're wanting keywords in it as well, you can check that out and decide on a domain name based on your keyword research. So what I'll do is I'll just go back to here, and I'm going to copy venture capital, and if you're wondering why I'm flicking back and forward through them, it really depends if you're on a Mac or on a PC, a Windows PC. But on a Windows PC, I press Control then Tab, and that does this for me, and you see all the programs that are open. As I flick back and forward, it's pretty helpful for do the keyword research. So venture capital, I've copied that, and I'll just paste that into there. Competition, I'll leave that out just now. I'm wanting to put in the search volume, so that's got 60,500. Paste that in there, and I'm just going to leave the other ones blank just now. We'll come back to them. Venture capital firms, I find that an important keyword for myself. I'm just going to paste that into there, and then I'm going to put in the number of searches this one gets on a monthly basis. Venture capital firms, funding. So you see, funding's not what I'm looking for. Companies, that could be one. So people that are searching for venture capital companies, that could be a keyword, an important keyword for me. How many searches does that get? 720. So that's a lot less searches, but it comes down to how hard the competition is. If your competition is too hard, then there's no point going for keywords with 60,000 searches, because you're never going to get, or it will take you a lot of effort and a lot of time to get to number one for harder competition keywords. Venture capital financing, that could be a possible keyword, but we're just really narrowing it down to what's the most important keywords, and then filtering it down to the most important ones. Here's one, venture capital firm, and that's obviously without the S. That's getting 1,000 searches, so I'll just paste that into there. So it's not got an S, and it's actually getting a lot less, but then the competition might be less. So I'll go with that just now. I've got these list of 4, but I suggest you just do like up to about 30-40 keywords, depending on how much time you've got to do it. But you want to spend as much time on this part of SEO before you go ahead with building a website. Spend as much time as possible, and it's the most important stage of SEO. So now that we've got a list of some keywords, I want to now find out what the competition is for these keywords, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm just going to go into Google. I'll go flick back to venture capital. I'm just going to copy this keyword and paste it into Google. Right, now what you need to do, this gives you the sort of broad number of times that this keyword and similar keywords to venture capital is inside the search engine. So as you can see, there's millions, and that tells me that obviously that keyword's too competitive. But to find out these exact phrases, how many times that exact phrase together is on Google, all you need to do is put in a quotation mark and then search for that, and that'll take it down a lot less. But again, that's a very competitive. Anything over 1 million results is way too competitive. But I'm going to copy that and paste that into my keyword research table, and that's next to venture capital. Just paste that into there, and then I'm going to do the same again for venture capital firms. Put that into there, and then I'm going to copy this. That's over 1 million, so that's a wee bit too competitive. Venture capital companies, I'll try that. And this is me just kind of digging into the keywords and finding out what's going to work and what's too hard to go for. So this hasn't got too many. That's not got too much competition. That's in the thousands, so I can possibly go for this. So that's one of the better keywords. And venture capital firm without the S. I'll put that in there. And search. And that's over 1 million again. So now I can look over everything here. I can see that this one's definitely what I need to go for because it's less not as competitive. But this is the kind of keyword I want to go for. So what I seen a suggestion that came up when I was searching on Google. It came up with UK, so you can narrow that down to a local keyword as well as a long tail. So if I add venture capital firms UK into Google, it might actually take down the competition. Firms UK. So that's a lot less competition. It's only 22,700 results. So I'm going to copy that and paste that into here, and we're just going to put the keyword that I searched for. Copy that, paste that into there. And now I just need to check what the search volume is for this keyword. And I'll go back to the Google Keyword Planner. And I'm just going to scroll down and see if there is anything with UK in it. And there's this one, but I'm looking for venture capital firms UK. If that doesn't, venture capital firms UK. So what I'm going to do now is narrow it down even further into this keyword, because I like this is the kind of the best keyword that I would want to go for this website. So I've just copied that, and I'm going to paste that into the actual search on the Google Keyword Planner, and click on Get Ideas. So it gives me more related ideas to that keyword. Right, so that's 260. It's saying high competition. So anything with high competition, it's obviously going to be competitive. I do suggest, unless you really know your SEO stuff, to go for something that says low competition. But obviously it has to be relative and valuable for the actual sales you're going to get from that search. So it has to be related to your products and services. Let me just go back to this here and paste the number of searches into there. I'm also just going to search that and narrow it down, so take out the S. It's venture capital firm without the S, so it's venture capital firm UK instead of venture capital firms UK. I'm just going to copy that as well and Get Ideas. I just want to see how many monthly searches that gets itself. So venture capital firm UK gets 10 searches on a monthly basis, so I'm just going to put that into here. Venture capital firm UK, the searches, it was 10, so that's a lot less searches in UK itself, but what we want to check is the competition. And I'm just going to search that. Oops, take the S out. So yeah, that's the venture capital firm UK, and that gets 5,730 results. I'm just going to paste that into there. So it's a lot less competition, but a lot less searches. So then we kind of just need to figure out what keywords I'm going to go for and what ones you can't go for. So anything in the millions, like I'm saying, is you can't really go for them unless you've got a good experience in search engine optimization. So I'm just going to rule these ones out. Just highlight them red, or you can highlight the good ones green. It's totally up to you the way you want to do it. But that rules these ones out, and then you can basically figure out what ones you find the best. So that's going to be more competitive than this one, obviously, because it's found on the search results more. You can narrow things down even further by figuring out the page rank of each website. For if I search for this venture capital companies, I'm just going to go back to Google again. I'm going to take out the quotation marks this time, paste that into there, and you can actually figure out the page rank for each of the web pages on this front page. And how you would do that is just by copying this. I'm going to open a new tab and then search for PageRank or PR checker. So you just paste the URL into there and then put in the captcha code that it's asking for. It's VBN4. That's just to stop spam. And then click on check page rank, and that should return a result. It's coming up invalid domain name, so maybe I'll try the one below that. Copy and paste that one into there. Oh, and it's coming up with HTTP www dot, so I don't need to put in the www bit before that. That's probably what the problem was. So bvca.co.uk, and then I'm just going to put in the captcha code again, and then click on check page rank, and that should return a result of what page rank this website is. And then I would just take a note of all the pages on the first page of Google for your keyword phrase for each of these websites, and figure out what all their page rank is. And a page rank is really whether, for example, Facebook's I think it's a 9 out of 10 page rank. I've been working on an internet marketing site, and I think it's only a page rank 3, and I've been working on that for a couple of years now. So it takes a long time to build your page rank up and your authority. So if the websites have got high page rank, it shows that that's actually really competitive to get on the first page in the organic search results. This is a page rank 6, so that's telling me already that it's going to be solid to get to number 1. And I would just go through the rest of these websites and paste them into the PageRank checker and just check what the average page rank is. So add them all up and figure out the average page rank for the first page of Google for your keyword. Let me just go back to this, and then you would just put in the page rank there. If say the average was 6, you would put that in there. You can also check the cost per click in the Google Keyword Tool. You can do it on an average thing again, or venture capital firm, that specific keyword, you just copy that. Venture capital firm UK, venture capital firm UK, paste that into there. You would then have to do the research on the front page for that specific keyword. Commercial intent firm, it's not really a buyer's keyword, so I wouldn't put commercial intent into there. I can also search for if the domain's available or not, and I can just put yes, no, and that's how you fill it out. You just go right through all the keywords and figure out your most important keywords, and then narrow it down to 12. And then once you've figured out your 12 keywords, you can figure out the 3 main keywords on top of that. So that's basically how keyword research works. As you can see, the Google Keyword Planner is an amazing free tool, because before I knew about this tool, I just went and built a website without having a clue what I was up against and how much searches my actual key phrases were getting. So now you actually have a detailed insight into the number of searches the keywords are getting. So just remember to spend a lot of time researching every keyword possible, so you find the most valuable keyword related to your products and services, and not to forget the commercial intent of your visitors. Here are a few keyword research tools that I recommend that can speed up the whole keyword research process. The first one's Market Samurai. This is a URL here, and the next one's Word Tracker tool. You get free trials and things with all of these, but of course they're to upgrade, they're paid, and the speeding up process is you get free trials, 3-day free trial, but on average they're between $20 to up to $70 a month. Market Samurai I think is just a one-off payment, about $150. But the Keyword Canine's one that I've used a lot, and I find that really helpful. It does your competition keyword research, and it does a wee bit of link building for you as well, for adding your business to directories and stuff. So I recommend the Keyword Canine for keyword research, but it obviously depends on your budget. The way that I showed you is completely free, using the Google Keyword Tool, and probably the best way if you're on a budget. So let's move on to the next stage of search engine optimization. Thanks for watching.